Yeah, good morning. Gareth Talks Tottenham. Just come away from TikTok and now I'm coming to YouTube. So, yeah, manager bounce. That's what we're talking about today. Now, there's a lot of factors that come into play here. I think, we all think, Spurs have got to be really smart with who they choose to be the next manager permanently. But not only that, the interim basis as well. And there's plenty of names that are being touted out there. You know, you've got your Poches, you've got your Nagelsmans, you've got Marcus Rose coming into the fray, you've got Maresca, you've got Marco Silva from Fulham, Olivia Glasner, who else has been linked? Ralph Ragnick, I think he's been linked. Yeah, there's a lot of it. Harry Redknapp's and all these as interims. But you need to stop and think for a bit and just think, right, look at the state of Tottenham right now. Look where they are going to be in the summer and for next season as well. Now, if you analyse all the situation, yeah, okay, we bring a Tim Sherwood in or we bring a Redknapp in and we get a few results and we stay up, that's fine. And that'll be a great thing. But at the same time, you've got to look at the situation. Now, about fucking 90% of the fan base, I think, are leaning towards Pochettino coming back. His magic, yeah? But Pochettino is not going to be available till after the World Cup. And then he will want to go on holiday. Because he won't have had a holiday, yeah? So, Pochettino is potentially going to finish the World Cup in probably June, July, start of July. And then he'll want a break. And then he'll come, and if he takes a job, he'll be taking the reins around about first week or second week of July, yeah? Is that enough time for him to get in the club, get settled again, make his plans, and not only that, go on pre-season? Because Spurs will start going on pre-season very early, yeah? And with no manager in place, what is the long-term thing going to be? And we know this for a fact. If he comes in and he takes over the club at such a short period, he's got to get transfers and everything over the line. He's got to assess his squad. He's got to look at every player. Now, there are going to be some short-term fixes and he probably could start picking up a few results or something like that. But the bottom line is, if we want him to hit the ground running, he needs to be on the job on the 1st of June. Simple as. Any manager that's coming in here needs to take that job on the 1st of June and literally just walk in and say, right, I've got the whole pre-season to assess the squad. But here's a better scenario, yeah? Why not go get a permanent manager now? And that way you can use the last 12 games, not only just staying up and fighting for avoiding relegation, but also gives him a chance to kind of assess the mentality of this squad, not the quality, the mentality, and who's up for the fights every season and who's not, who's got the mentality to win, yeah? Now, we know that there's players in that squad that have the mentality to win, but we also know there's a lot of players there that don't have the mentality to win and don't put a shift in and don't put their body on the line, yeah? So we need a manager, I think, not an interim. I think we need a manager to come in now, take over, and give him a chance to embed his thoughts into his philosophy, into the squad, let people know which players he wants, yeah? And then he can really kind of have a good stab at the job, because at the moment, if we bring in a Harry Redknapp or a Tim Sherwood, sorry, bear with me a second. Sorry, just get my car out. If we bring in a Harry Redknapp or Tim Sherwood or something like that, yeah, okay, maybe they pick up some results. Maybe they do, yeah? But, and they most probably will, yeah? And we'll be fine. But at the same time, we need a manager that is going to come in, look at all the players, look at the injury table, and think, right, okay, let's make a detailed assessment of what players are out, what players are coming back, what players are going to be available at some point, yeah? So we get more than our fair share of chance to be able to do something decent, do something right. And at the moment, we are almost clutching at straws because we're looking at bringing an interim manager in that might not be there for the long term, and then he'll come in and then things won't be perfect. So I think there's a bigger picture to play here, and I think that's the reason why we haven't seen. I've seen a lot of fans having a meltdown saying, "Oh, look at Forest! Look at Forest! They sacked the manager 2 days later, or 1 day later. They've got someone new the door." Let's be honest. Victor Pereira was sacked by Wolves because he didn't even get a win, and God knows how long. God knows why they've appointed him. Like, whoever decided to make that appointment is absolutely off their tits, you know. So it's not just about, sorry, put my light on. It's not about just getting a manager through the door. It's about getting the right manager through the door at the right time and deciding, right, okay, are we doing a quick fix or are we doing a long-term fix? We need a long-term fix. We don't need a quick fix. We need a permanent solution to this. We got a squad that is depleted. The confidence is low. We need a change of manager that's going to come in and boost these players, you know. Because I was, for one, saying about interim manager, get Harry Redknapp or get someone like that in to come and just take it to the end of the season. But after thinking about it and really looking at it in detail, we need somebody to come in on the 1st of June. We need a manager that either coming in on the 1st of June, or we need a manager that is going to take the reins now and take us to the end of the season, and then have the whole summer to pre-season, buy players, sell players, and really put his stamp on this squad, ready to go in August. So we're good to go from the first game of the season. We're good and we're sharp and we're all embedded, you know, the best we can, and let it grow from there. So yeah, I mean, Pochettino's not going to be available until after the World Cup easily, unless they go to Pochettino and they turn around and say to him, "Look, Poch, we're interested in you coming back, yeah, but we can't wait for you. We want your number one choice, but we can't wait for you until the World Cup because of blah 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 what I've just said, yeah." And he will be faced with the decision. Does he break his contract with USA and come to Tottenham straight away, immediately? Or does he turn around and say to himself, well, no, I'm committed to USA, so, like, you know, I'm going to honour my commitment, yeah? In that case, you know, Spurs will have to look elsewhere. And I think that's what they're doing. I think that's why we haven't seen anything. Because if they had, you would have seen it very quickly. When Spurs were taken over by Ryan Mason, he was almost nominated within a day. Like, Ryan Mason will be taking over first team duties as head coach. Blah blah blah. Job done. We haven't seen that yet, and I think they're interviewing. I think they're looking at managers, and I think someone like Enzo Maresca is in the frame. I really do. I think it really could be. Yeah. That wouldn't be a bad appointment. He was sacked by Chelsea because he fell out with the board. Who hasn't fallen out with the board? Poch has fallen out with the board. You know, every single manager that's been has fallen out with the fucking board. Yeah. We ain't getting a De Zerbi because De Zerbi will fight against this board. You know what I mean? So it's a little bit of food for thought there. Tell me if you agree, guys. Yeah. A manager starting mid-July or a manager starting now? What's better for Tottenham Hotspur? Surely more time in the job, and that way he can use the last games as a kind of a pre-season preset like kind of thing. Oh yeah, we've got to get results, but we can use that as an assessment. And not only that, he can let the players know this is my assessment period. Yeah, like, you know, any players that are not prepared to stay will just bum around, and he'll know, we'll separate the men from the boys, basically. Anyway, like and subscribe at Gareth Talks Tottenham, YouTube, same on TikTok. Hit the notification bell, drop your comments, and yeah, we'll do some more videos later on as the day progresses. Maybe we'll get some news or not, but we'll see. But you lovely people, have a great day, stay safe, yeah, enjoy the rain, well, it is in the south anyway, and take care. Have a good day. Come on, you Spurs.